I saw a badger once in the middle of the road, and I got out to film it. And it started walking towards me. I ran right back to the
Hell
car.
yeah,
Like,
dude.
Fuck
It
this.
will go at you, yeah.
Right.
They just go at you. So
all
big
they got.
animals are confused by it.
And they seem invulnerable.
Yeah,
There's
they
something
take
about
some
them.
bites.
Oh, and they're smart, dude. There's one video of this guy that tried to keep one. Like, all right, I got to get out of here. I got to fuck something up.
Isn't it crazy that nature made that and a giraffe?
It's awesome. I
Yeah.
bug out on like all the stuff that's made. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Florida's wetlands were once among the most balanced ecosystems in North America. Vast marshes, slow-moving rivers, and dense vegetation supported a complex web of life, where predators and prey existed in long-established equilibrium. That balance began to break down in the late 20th century, when a non-native predator quietly established itself in the Everglades. The Burmese python did not arrive through natural migration. It was introduced through the exotic pet trade, released or escaped into the wild. In a climate similar to its native Southeast Asia, the snake adapted quickly. With no natural predators capable of controlling adult individuals, its population expanded unchecked. By the early 2000s, the consequences were impossible to ignore. Scientific surveys revealed dramatic declines in native wildlife. A landmark study published in 2012 showed that since 1997, raccoon populations in parts of the Everglades had dropped by more than 99%. Opossums declined by nearly the same margin. Bobcats, foxes, and marsh rabbits followed a similar trajectory. Birds, reptiles, and even alligators were affected as pythons competed for prey and altered food chains. State and federal agencies responded with aggressive control programs. Trained hunters were deployed. Financial incentives were introduced, paying bounties for captured snakes. In 2023 alone, Florida allocated more than $3 million to python removal efforts. Yet despite years of hunting, trapping, and monitoring, the overall impact remained limited. Tens of thousands of pythons are believed to inhabit South Florida, with many more unaccounted for. As frustration grew, a controversial idea began circulating beyond scientific circles. If humans could not control the snakes, perhaps nature could. The proposal sounded extreme. Introduce honey badgers into Florida to hunt Burmese pythons. At first glance, the idea appeared almost absurd. Honey badgers are native to Africa, parts of the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent, half a world away from the Everglades. But the reasoning behind the suggestion drew on the animal's reputation. The honey badger, also known as the ratel, is a member of the mustelid family, related to weasels and otters. Despite its relatively small size, it has earned a reputation as one of the most fearless mammals on Earth. Honey badgers are known to confront animals far larger than themselves, including lions and hyenas. They are aggressive, persistent, and remarkably resilient. Their physical traits reinforce that reputation. Honey badgers have thick, loose skin that allows them to twist and turn even when bitten. Their claws are long and powerful, capable of breaking open hard shells. They possess a high pain tolerance and a degree of resistance to snake venom, developed over generations of exposure. In their native habitats, snakes make up a significant portion of the honey badger's diet. This includes highly venomous species such as cobras and vipers. Observations from Africa show honey badgers actively hunting large pythons, sometimes defeating snakes several times their own weight. This combination of fearlessness, intelligence, and dietary habits made the idea tempting to some observers. If honey badgers could hunt African rock pythons, why not Burmese pythons in Florida? On paper, the logic seemed simple. Burmese pythons in Southeast Asia coexist with numerous predators: crocodiles, monitor lizards, large cats, and other snakes. In Florida, those natural checks are largely absent. Once a python reaches a certain size, very little threatens it. Honey badgers, proponents argued, could become the missing predator, attacking pythons at every stage of life. Honey badgers are omnivorous. They eat eggs, juveniles, and adults. They dig up nests, raid burrows, and persistently track prey. In theory, they could reduce python populations more effectively than human hunters ever could. But ecology is not theory, it is consequence. The first and most serious problem is diet. Honey badgers are not snake specialists. They are generalist predators. In the wild, they consume more than 60 different animal species, including insects, frogs, birds, rodents, reptiles, and eggs. They also eat fruit, roots, and bulbs. Snakes are only one option among many. Florida is one of the most biologically diverse regions in North America. The state contains more than 80 distinct ecosystems, hundreds of land animal species, and thousands of aquatic species. Many are already under pressure from habitat loss and invasive species. Introducing a highly adaptable, omnivorous predator into this environment would not result in selective snake hunting. It would result in widespread predation. Sea turtles illustrate the risk clearly. Along parts of Florida's coastline, sea turtles lay tens of thousands of eggs each year. These nests are vulnerable, stationary, and defenseless. For a honey badger, turtle eggs would be a far easier and safer meal than a large python capable of fighting back. The same is true for American crocodiles, which nest in shallow coastal areas. Although their population has slowly recovered since being listed as endangered in the 1970s, they remain vulnerable. Honey badgers would have no difficulty raiding crocodile nests, threatening a species that conservationists spent decades trying to protect. The second problem is population control. In Florida, honey badgers would have no natural predators capable of keeping their numbers in check. Even in Africa, predators often avoid them due to their aggression and low reward. In Florida, large predators like panthers and bears are rare and unlikely to exert meaningful control. Alligators might occasionally kill honey badgers, but not at a scale sufficient to regulate a growing population. An introduced honey badger population would almost certainly expand rapidly. History provides clear warnings about such scenarios. In the late 19th century, mongooses were introduced to Hawaii to control rats in sugarcane fields. The plan failed immediately. Rats were nocturnal. Mongooses were diurnal. They rarely encountered each other. Instead, mongooses preyed on native birds, reptiles, and turtle eggs. At least 8 endemic bird species were driven to extinction. Today, mongooses are considered one of Hawaii's most destructive invasive species. Australia repeated a similar mistake in 1935 with cane toads. Introduced to control beetles, the toads ignored the pests and spread across the continent. Their toxic skin killed native predators, disrupted ecosystems, and caused ecological damage that continues nearly a century later. These are not isolated cases. Around the world, biological control using animals has repeatedly produced unintended disasters when introduced without exhaustive ecological study. There are successful examples of biological control, but they overwhelmingly involve insects and plants, not mammals. In the late 1800s, a lady beetle species saved California's citrus industry by eliminating a destructive scale insect. That success is often cited as the foundation of biological control science. Notably, it involved tightly controlled interactions between small organisms with limited ecological reach. Large mammals are different. They move far, reproduce slowly but steadily, and impact ecosystems broadly. Even beyond ecological harm, there are human consequences to consider. Honey badgers are notorious livestock killers. In parts of Africa and the Middle East, farmers report honey badgers killing sheep, goats, poultry, and destroying beehives. Financial losses can be severe. Honey badgers are also highly intelligent escape artists, capable of opening locks, digging under fences, and using objects as tools to climb barriers. Containing them is difficult. Removing them, once established, would be even harder. Florida already faces this reality with Burmese pythons. Once an invasive species reaches a certain population threshold, eradication becomes nearly impossible. Introducing another invasive predator in hopes of controlling the first would compound the problem rather than solve it. Modern conservation science emphasizes prevention, early detection, and integrated management. Python control in Florida now focuses on public education, stricter regulation of the pet trade, improved tracking technologies, genetic research, and coordinated removal efforts. These approaches are slow, expensive, and imperfect, but they do not risk creating a second ecological crisis. There is no single animal that can undo decades of environmental damage. No predator, no matter how fearless, can restore balance by itself. The idea of releasing honey badgers into Florida is not a solution. It is a warning. One more reminder that ecosystems are complex systems, not puzzles to be solved with brute force. Nature does not offer magic fixes. It demands caution, patience, and humility. There is no single animal that can undo decades of environmental damage. No predator, no matter how fearless, can restore balance by itself. In parts of Africa and the Middle East, farmers report honey badgers killing sheep, goats, poultry, and destroying beehives. Financial losses can be severe. Honey badgers are also highly intelligent escape artists, capable of opening locks, digging under fences, and using objects as tools to climb barriers. Containing them is difficult. Removing them, once established, would be even harder. Florida already faces this reality with Burmese pythons. Once an invasive species reaches a certain population threshold, eradication becomes nearly impossible. Introducing another invasive predator in hopes of controlling the first would compound the problem rather than solve it. Modern conservation science emphasizes prevention, early detection, and integrated management. Python control in Florida now focuses on public education, stricter regulation of the pet trade, improved tracking technologies, genetic research, and coordinated removal efforts. Nature does not offer magic fixes. It demands caution, patience, and humility. And in Florida's fragile wetlands, the cost of ignoring those lessons would be far too high. And in Florida's fragile wetlands, the cost of ignoring those lessons would be far too high.